Yes, it's true that at a Tekken World Tour Master event, a player was disqualified during the tournament for being Chinese. So that's obviously quite a shocking thing to hear. So let's go over why that happened. Basically, it's this player here, Essence XCC. As you can see, he went all the way through his pool, even beating Edge, a famous Hwarang player from Korea, in the winners finals to advance to the top 48 winners side. And he made it all the way, as we can see here, to winners quarter final. In other words, one game before top 8 in winners side, in which he was disqualified, which gave Shadow 20Z a bye. Why did this happen? Well, if you have a look at the Tekken World Tour rules, it states that this tournament is only open to players who are legal residents of one of the countries specified in the territory. Now, if you look at the different territories, China is not listed as one of the territories. So in other words, if you are a legal resident of China, you are not allowed to enter Tekken World Tour tournaments. This obviously raises the question, why was XCC allowed to enter the tournament in the first place? I don't know. Did nobody see that he was in the tournament? It's a little bit odd. What is also odd is that he didn't have a single streamed match up to this point. Now, that's not unheard of. You could get to this far in the tournament without having a streamed match. But the thing is, when you get to top 8, every single match is on stream, right? And they disqualified him one game before top 8. If he'd beaten Shadow, then he would have made top 8, which means he'd be on stream more than once because he'd be in winner's side. So it seems like they purposefully waited until then, because obviously they'd rather not disqualify someone during the tournament, and they were probably hoping that he would just get eliminated before that. So I can imagine they were bricking themselves during the tournament thinking, please eliminate this guy. But nobody did, and it's a shame because, as we saw, he beat Edge, then he beat Yagami as well. So he really did do well in this tournament, and it's sad to see that it came to this. The reaction from the Tekken community has been overwhelmingly in support of XCC, even prompting a tweet from Bandai Namco. I hate to be negative, but yeah, this again, this is not a good look, just like the stage situation, right? The paid stage situation. And you can see people in the replies are still annoyed about it. Obscure tweets, Yoli considering it, which is a bit disappointing they use that word, but I suppose they kind of have to. Great point here. It says, why not tell him in the beginning that he can't attend? It's odd why they let him attend in the first place. And you also have to wonder, what about his opponents? Say, for example, Yagami right here, If XCC is disqualified from the tournament, giving Shadow a bye, then someone like Yagami, I don't want to speak for him, but he may feel like, well, what about me? Why can't I get a bye? Why did I have to play against XCC if he's not even allowed to make it to top 8? There's also this tweet from Harada in which he's responded to a guy named Andres Lopez, who's asked Harada to fix it. This is just the whole situation. To which he's responded, okay. So I suppose he's taking this seriously. But as of right now, there's nothing they can really do, I don't think, for the rest of this current Tekken World Tour season, because the rules are already in place, so it would be very difficult to convince them to change the rules now to let Chinese players as well as Russian players enter. Of course, one possible solution would be to do something similar to what the Olympics do. So if you don't know, in the Olympics, Russia were not allowed to compete, so Russian athletes competed under like a separate entity. So this is what Russian athletes were competing under, the Russian Olympic Committee. It's difficult to know who to blame here, because on the other side of the coin, some people are saying, well, surely he knew that Chinese players were not allowed to compete in Tekken World Tour events. And you would think so, I'm not gonna lie, you would think so. So it's a bit odd as to why he actually entered it in the first place. I don't know if maybe he thought he'd get away with it, or maybe someone told him that it would be okay to compete, or maybe he genuinely didn't know. It's odd, it really is odd. Why did he enter in the first place? Why was he allowed to enter? And then this unfortunate situation. In case you're wondering what XCC thinks about this, here's what he tweeted after. He's thanked his sponsor and he's proud of his nationality regardless of the results. You gotta respect his positivity and his enthusiasm. And it sounds like a lot of players comforted him as well, which is great to see that the community has come together to support this guy, because he is part of it. So let me know what you think on the whole situation. Should he have entered the tournament knowing that this was likely to happen? Why did they let him enter? Should they have just let him play regardless? Should they change the rules of Tekken World Tour before this season ends, or should they wait it out to the next season? What changes would you like to see to the rulebook to stop this thing happening in the future? Thanks for watching, take it easy.